Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Li Wei Tai. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the show today, Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremonies take place worldwide. At the first in Hualien, Taiwan, Master Zheng Yan leads participants in a collective prayer. In our series of features on Tzu Chi's education mission, we look at how and why the Tzu Chi Teachers Association came into being. And as the Tzu Chi Hospital in Taipei celebrates its 6th birthday, senior hospital staff are also honored for their commitment to saving lives. Sunday, May 8th was a big day for Tzu Chi members across the world as the foundation celebrated Buddha Day, Mother's Day and Global Tzu Chi Day together. The first of the grand ceremonies commenced at the Jingsi Hall in Hualien, Taiwan at 7 a.m. local time with more than 3,000 people in attendance. The commemoration lasted an hour with 3 Buddha bathing altars representing the Buddha's pursuits of discipline, meditation and wisdom. 18 nuns from the Jingsi abode march out of Hualien's Jingsi Hall, their steps synchronized. With grace and solemnity, they lead participants in a metaphorical pursuit of the wisdom of the Enlightened One.
虔诚发愿，追随佛陀悲志，深入法华精神，发无上菩提心，走慈济人间路。
The number 45 is prominent at the ceremony, marking Tzu Chi's 45th anniversary. The lotus totems symbolize the possibility of paradise on earth.
供灯烛，赞扬三宝。
The round Buddha bathing altar represents the purifying power of the Dharma that flows around the world in a circle.
浴佛开始，礼佛祖。
The global Tzu Chi Buddha Day ceremony kicks off in Hualien, Taiwan, ahead of festivities in 30 countries. Around 220,000 people are expected to take part in the worldwide observance of the Buddha Day, which honors love, compassion, and enlightenment. While Tzu Chi's branches and offices across Taiwan hold Buddha Day celebrations of various scales, Tzu Chi's hospitals in Taipei, Taichung, and Dalian also organize separate events to share in the joy of the special day. Meanwhile, after the first Buddha Day ceremony concluded at Hualien's Jingsi Hall, Dharma masters, medical staff, and volunteers gathered in the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital with 19 mobile carts to give patients a chance to join the ritual. The hospital also prepared carnations for mothers and wish them a happy Mother's Day.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital has prepared 19 mobile Buddha bathing carts for their bedridden patients. Jingsi abode masters, medical staff and volunteers go room to room to share the Dharma joy with everyone. I'm very grateful to you all for coming here to care for us.
You all have come to see me. I'm very happy.
As today is also Mother's Day, the hospital thoughtfully gave a carnation to every mother. The Buddha bathing ceremony gives patients a chance to make a good vow and offers the hope that they will soon recover.
Now that the Tzu Chi Foundation is formally registered as a charity organization in China, Suzhou's Jingsi bookstore in Jiangsu province held the Buddha bathing ceremony this year. Participants kept in touch with the main event in Hualien through a televised link. Nearly 600 volunteers attended the event to show their gratitude and respect to the Buddha, their parents, and the world.
Through a televised link, Tzu Chi volunteers in Hualien and Suzhou chant Buddhist scripture together. The Suzhou Buddha bathing ceremony is held in the Jingsi bookstore's garden.
With respect, let us light the incense, and with a pure mind, let us honor the Buddha with fragrant water and flowers and praise the Enlightened One.
Nearly 600 volunteers and participants all stand neatly in lines and take turns to pay their respect. The ceremony site is only 198 square meters in size, but participants managed to demonstrate solemn beauty through Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit.
The birthday of the Buddha, who was born 2,600 years ago, was celebrated on Sunday by various organizations in Taiwan. Dharma Drum Mountain held a ceremony at the Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall in Taipei with a play about the grace of the Buddha. Meanwhile, in a joint celebration of the Buddha's birthday and Mother's Day, Foguang Mountain held an event outside the palace of the president. As well as a bathing ceremony, children of all ages said thank you to their mothers. At this Buddha Day ceremony in Taipei, Master Xingyun from Foguangshan says he wants people to remember the Buddha while celebrating Mother's Day.
The Buddha is a great mother and the head of Buddhism. What does he give us? What he gives us is hidden in our hearts: mercy, wisdom, patience, perseverance, and so on. When we draw on these in our hearts, you could say there is an endless supply.
Participants at the celebration also speak from the heart.
The Buddha is like a loving mother. Together with Mother's Day, in this way everyone can have a happy Mother's Day and pray for the health of every great mother on earth.
感恩阿嬷。对。有没有什么话想跟阿嬷或妈妈说？
有啊，就是谢谢他们。
Shy children bashfully hug their mothers and give them flowers at this joint celebration of Buddha Day and Mother's Day. Since Tzu Chi made its first appearance in Myanmar to bring aid to victims of Typhoon Nagas in 2008, this year's Buddha Day ceremony, which was held at the Buddhist Kamayama Temple School, was the biggest yet, with around 5,000 participants. For the big day, we joined Tzu Chi volunteers, teachers and students as they set up for this unique and stately celebration.
With only days remaining before the Tzu Chi Buddha Day ceremony at Kamayama Temple School, volunteers, novices and Tzu Chi student aid recipients work together to prepare the venue. Volunteer Huang Xiuzhi has a genetic heart condition. Despite suffering from a cold that causes chest pain and constant coughing, she keeps a bright smile on her face.
We had to move a pile of timber here, but I had no problem with it because many people helped me. Although I have a heart condition, have had surgery before, and sometimes can't catch my breath, doing Tzu Chi's work makes me very happy.
Some 5,000 people are expected to take part in the Buddha Day ceremony to honor the great mentor, as well as to give thanks to all living things. Volunteers explain the meaning behind the observance.
Without rice, without the farmers who worked so hard to grow it, we wouldn't have food to keep us healthy and strong. We should all be thankful.
I used to understand that we should always be grateful, but to whom? Here I found my answer. When I see so many people coming together as one in this prayer service, I feel deeply moved.
I get goosebumps from seeing how grand and dignified the Buddha Day ceremony is.
In preparing for Buddha Day celebrations on Sunday, May 8th, Burmese volunteers, though small in number, are determined to make it a very memorable day for the people in this predominantly Buddhist country.
Pulau Ketam is an island in Malaysia offshore of Port Klang, which is also known as the Crab Island. Most residents there fish for a living. In the recent years, the island has attracted flocks of tourists who come for the famous seafood. However, Pulau Ketam's only 2 Tzu Chi volunteers are bravely promoting vegetarianism on the island.
Situated offshore near Port Klang in Malaysia, Pulau Ketam, also known as Crab Island, is famous for its seafood. Come the weekend, the island is packed with tourists who are here for the food. For local residents, seafood is part of their lives.
People here are used to having fish and meat for every meal. It's a habit for them because people make a living by fishing, so they have seafood each meal.
As Tzu Chi celebrates its 45th anniversary, volunteer Chen Xiulan took on a mission to promote vegetarianism, in hopes that local residents could each pledge to 100 meatless meals.
I was motivated by Sister Rong Yue. She handed me 60 cards and asked whether I could manage. I didn't even think and said I could do it.
I know Sister Xiulan had problems with her legs. It's actually quite painful for her to walk, but she still manages to continue.
The first to say yes to the volunteers was Dan Li, who had doubts before supporting the green diet.
Just one day or a meal or two is okay too. 100 meals in 100 days is quite easy.
The process of promoting vegetarianism may be difficult, but volunteers are determined to invite more people to join the good cause.
In July of 1992, a group of teachers came together to found the Tzu Chi Teachers Association. Branches soon opened all over Taiwan, and 19 years later, the association's members continued to come together to share their experiences as well as working to help disadvantaged students.
July 23rd, 1992 marked the founding of the Tzu Chi Teachers Association. 1,000 teachers from all corners of Taiwan gathered in Hualien's Jingse Hall to participate in the event. At the opening ceremony, Master Zheng Yan asked that the Teachers Association work hard to be a vehicle through which teachers could refresh their dedication and find strength in support of each other. And the origin of the association cannot be discussed without mentioning one of its early members, Chen Meiyi.
I know that many teachers are not happy and are under a lot of pressure. After coming to Tzu Chi, there is often great improvement in these areas. So I thought we should come together so everyone may share their stories of change.
Tzu Chi volunteers, who were also teachers, started to come together to share their stories. The initial meetings were a success and soon spread from the north of Taiwan to the south and east. Soon after, regularly scheduled meetings were organized.
At these regular meetings, teachers shared with each other and encouraged each other. As well, there was the teaching of Jingse aphorisms.
Wu Yuxuan is a third-year student at Longhua Junior High School. Coming from a poor family and with a shy personality, Yuxuan showed little motivation in her studies. However, she has seen much improvement following her participation in a Teachers Association-sponsored class for disadvantaged students.
Because my family is poor, at first I didn't like to come here. I would cry and argue with my parents whenever they tried to bring me here. I wasn't familiar with Tzu Chi and thought all they did was help people in disasters.
Yuxuan at first saw no connection between her visits to Tzu Chi and her schoolwork. It was only later that she learned of the Teachers Association and the unique teachers that were its members.
I'm very thankful now and don't regret coming here at all. I told my parents that I was wrong and that all my crying and shouting was also wrong.
Her family doesn't have means to give her a lot of help. So if we Tzu Chi teachers can extend a helping hand and offer the necessary help, children can come to learn that life can be full of love.
In addition to helping disadvantaged students, Tzu Chi's Teachers Association has started to teach Jingse aphorisms in schools, as well as offering other specialized classes. In addition, in the event of natural disasters, the association helps students living in the stricken areas keep on top of their studies. official song of the Tzu Chi Teachers Association reminds every teacher to tap into that great love of the Buddha to guide students everywhere. As well, both in their roles as Tzu Chi volunteers and teachers, they are encouraged to teach the truth, banish confusion, and educate the hearts of students everywhere.
On Saturday, May 7th, Taipei TC Hospital celebrated its 6th birthday by recognizing its hard-working staff. The ceremony was a moving one, where all the participants looked back on the past and shared their joy.
With one of Tzu Chi's signature sign language performances and a video of all the past events, the Taipei TC Hospital is celebrating its 6th birthday. Superintendent Zhao Youchen not only shows his gratitude to the medical staff, but also encourages them.
We uphold Master Zheng Yan's mission to be a pure stream and a role model for the medical industry. All the effort that everyone has put in over the years was displayed in the video that was shown.
During the celebration ceremony, some of the medical staff is recognized for their long-term service and outstanding performance. Cardiologist Zhang Henjia shares his feelings.
When you change your mindset, no matter how tired you are, you feel happy and relaxed when you go home.
The collective diligence of the doctors and nurses has saved lives, and they all vow to continue to safeguard the health of local residents.
On this day, the 9th of May, the ambassador of French Impressionism, Paul Gauguin, died on this day in 1903. Known for his richly natural and colourful paintings, Gauguin enjoyed an exotic lifestyle, living almost half his life in the southern Pacific Islands, including Tahiti, where he painted his largest canvas, Where Do We Come From? What Are We? Where Are We Going? Taking nearly 4 years to build, Taiwan's Cross Island Highway was the first road to traverse the central mountain range, joining the east and west coast. The highway opened on this day in 1960. Because of the dangerous mountain terrain and difficult engineering challenges, over 200 workers died during its construction. After the 9/21 earthquake of 1999, the road was constantly blocked whenever typhoons hit Taiwan, raising questions about the wisdom of the project. Wen Xintao from Indonesia married a man from Nantou County and immigrated to Taiwan. But when her husband died of an illness, she discovered she did not have legal residence in Taiwan and had lost her Indonesian citizenship. Thanks to the help of Tzu Chi volunteers, Wen Xintao was able to return to her family in Indonesia. With the help of volunteers in Jakarta, she moved into the Sengkarang Da'ai village to begin a new life.
In our next story, we'll introduce you to an Indonesian woman named Wen Xintao. 24 years ago, she married and moved to Taiwan's Nantou County. But when her husband died, because she hadn't applied for citizenship and didn't have any children, she found herself stateless and lived by herself in the mountains. Then, with the help of Tzu Chi and the immigration agency, she returned to Indonesia in 2008.
Before, she was a wild-haired bag of bones. Before, she didn't know what day of the month it was and kept track of the time by counting leaves. When she was hungry, she would scavenge for food. Before, she was a forgotten face among Taiwan's 300,000 immigrant spouses. Wen Xintao married to Zhongliao Township in Nantou County 24 years ago, but did not apply for citizenship. When her husband died in 2006, she became stateless and alone. One day, Officer Zheng Kun-sen spotted Wen Xintao looking for food in a bucket of scraps and contacted the immigration agency and Tzu Chi.
I used my own time of duty. I felt responsible and sorry for her. She was a vulnerable woman.
And so, Wen Xintao's guardian angels arrived. To help the Indonesian woman, Tzu Chi volunteers frequently called on her.
后来我们呢找了一位印尼新娘来哈，希望能够建立跟她的。
We found an Indonesian new immigrant so she could have someone to talk to, but that Indonesian woman couldn't understand her. That Indonesian told us she was probably an overseas Chinese. By coincidence, I'm a Hakka, and when I spoke to her in Hakkanese, we broke the barrier of silence.
Tzu Chi is very good. Thank you, Tzu Chi.
Her new friends helped her through the loss of her husband. In 2008, the immigration agency sent someone to Indonesia to find her younger brother, who came to Taiwan to prove she was an Indonesian, so she could apply for a passport and regain her citizenship. And so Wen Xintao, or Atao to her friends, returned to her long-lost home. Local Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia met her at the airport, helping Wen Xintao find her way back. In Kalimantan, her family was still living in the same house.
Now my daughter is back, Xintao is back. I'm very happy she's back home.
I haven't seen my parents and sister for a long time. I was worried. Now I'm back at last.
Her mother is upset by the ordeal Xintao went through in Taiwan, and although her younger brother is poor, he is willing to support her. But as well as another mouth to feed, the family also has Indonesian Tzu Chi volunteers to look out for them. And when Xintao can put her episode in Taiwan behind her.
Atao is much better now. She can have milk now. This would have been impossible before, but it's now possible. Thank you, Atao.
For the people in Taiwan who donated money to Atao and all the Tzu Chi volunteers who helped her along the way, knowing that she is much better is the best news they could hear.
At the end of the show, we join the Buddha Day celebrations once again, but this time in Taiwan's Kaohsiung and Pingtung, where more than 1,000 community residents paid their respects at the ceremonies and took home with them a renewed sense of spiritual peace. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching Dai Headlines. Goodbye.